We are live from the center. It seems we have footage. The court granting Godwin EMEFIELE 20 million naira in bail, but it's still tense, so to speak.
I think, the bone of contention had been if they were actually going to let him be taken away from the premises of the court. He had been granted 20 million naira bail, and now we're seeing a situation where there's a possibility that it's a struggle to even just have him come out. We're still having these images come live from Lagos. That's in Ikoyi. We're seeing the members of the DSS, of course, clad with balaclavas to hide their identity. We have our correspondent there, Obadeyo. If you can tell us what exactly is going on. Right, okay.
Well, we hope he's staying somewhere safe. It seems like hands are being thrown. We did expect the drama to ramp up at around this time when EMEFIELE would be coming out of the courts. The DSS did say that they wanted to pick him up a second time right after he clarified his 20 million naira bail conditions. We can see his lawyers shouting there. There's certainly a lot of guns, a lot of gra-gra. This seems like it's going to continue for a little while. Godwin EMEFIELE, this saga continues.
Yes, definitely. However, we did see Mr. Okere Kingdom, who had addressed Arise News earlier, of course, talking about this, the court granting former CBN Governor Godwin EMEFIELE 20 million naira bail. And we do know that the judge had also ordered EMEFIELE be held at the Ikoyi Correctional Center pending the perfection of his bail. And his trial has been fixed for November 14th of this year. But at this point, it's unclear to see whether or not this particular grant by the court allowing him being held at the Ikoyi Correctional Center is going to come to fruition. We'll continue to monitor that story, of course, here on Arise News.
We are trying to save ourselves. Okay. Yes, okay. All right, so in Ikoyi, where two agencies of government are showing off the power that they have. It's between the DSS, that's the Department of State Security, and the team from the Nigerian Correctional Services, the agency in charge of the prisons. And moments ago, we saw the manhandling of some members of the Correctional Services team by the DSS, to the point that the button of that uniform was pulled off of that. I can't particularly get the name of the individual that was involved, but from the look of things, he led the team from the Correctional Services. It was a free-for-all moments back. It was a free-for-all, and the Correctional Service team went to go and get more, fortified with more guns, more rifles, and more men. only for them to be rebuffed by the DSS, who have been standing firm at the door of the courtroom. Right now, Mr. EMEFIELE is still inside that courtroom. The door you are seeing, the door of which you are seeing on camera right now, is there, and he has not been allowed to come out. So we don't know what this will come to at the end of the day, but the drama still continues. Men of the correctional services, some men just left now, perhaps to go and reinforce more against the DSS, but the DSS is still standing firm. You can see their men hooded and fully armed to the teeth, not ready to let go of the suspect. That's the suspended governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin EMEFIELE. So we have vehicles in the premises here. We have vans of the Nigerian Correctional Services and vans of the Department of State Security, DSS. They are here, and all the vans are ready. The drivers are inside the vans, and they are ready to take just one person, that's Mr. Godwin EMEFIELE, into custody. It's just one person that about 3, 4, 5 vans want to take into custody. At the end of the day, one of them will take him into custody, pending the time that he will perfect his bail conditions. But traditionally, the tradition is for any suspect who has been granted bail to be taken into custody of the correctional service, pending the time that he will perfect the bail condition. So I'm trying to speak with a lawyer off camera. I'm trying to speak with a lawyer to get their perspective into this. We have a lawyer here. We have a lawyer. So can I know your name, please?
My name is George EMEFIELE. I'm the immediate younger brother to the governor of Central Bank.
So what do you make of this situation right now?
It is disheartening that we have a government that came in through democratic process. We have a government that believes in democracy. We have a government that understands the rule of law. I remember vividly well when DSS invaded EFCC office. It took less than 12 hours for the president to give order that DSS should vacate the EFCC office. Why can't he do the same here? This is a court order, and DSS is violating the court order. This is more or less like a Gestapo trying to force what is not supposed to be. A government that people voted for, just in government for less than 2 months, and we are doing this to ourselves. The whole world is looking at us.
Are you not worried about the safety of your brother?
I am very, very much safety of my brother. I have made it clear. It is simple. All this fighting between the two military apparatus is not necessary. Obey the court order. The court says we are going to remand him in Ikoyi prison. He is going to be there. He's not going to run away. What is difficult? If you have a case, go to court. After all, DSS has gone to magistrate court several times to get an order. Why are they not obeying the High Court, Federal High Court order?
So where do you see this ending today?
We pray it ends well. Our prayer and what we are asking that the federal government to do is to obey the court order. Simple. Simple. My brother is not going to run away. He served this nation for 9 good years. 9 good years. He served this nation for 9 good years. And is this the way you are going to treat somebody that served a nation for 9 good years? To pay him back in this way? This is not fair. We are all Nigerians. And we need to make the government understand that what they are doing is wrong. Follow rule of law. Obey the democratic principle that brought you into power. And move on. It's simple.
Can you tell me your name again?
My name is George EMEFIELE.
All right, thanks so very much.
Thank you very much.
That's the immediate younger brother to Mr. Godwin EMEFIELE. He's also in court here with us, and you listen to him. The family is very worried about the safety of Godwin EMEFIELE. Let me speak with the lawyer, then I'll still go back to the family. in a moment. Can I have your name, please?
My name is Maxwell Opara. I'm an Abuja-based legal practitioner and a human rights activist.
So, as a lawyer, what do you make of this situation?
Of course, we came to watch proceedings as if you know what was going to happen today. We came here, and EMEFIELE was arraigned. His application for bail was right for hearing. JB Dawudu SA and the lead counsel took the application for bail. That was not objected. That was not countered. There was no counter to that application for bail. Court now said in the face of the application for bail that the affidavit deposed, we are not countered. Court now have no option than to grant him bail, exercising that power. The Constitution gave the judge. Now, having granted EMEFIELE bail, said ordered that he should be remanded to correctional center, pending when they will meet up with the condition for bail. That was all. So when we left the court, we started hearing that DSS said that they are taking him, that they will not comply with the court order. So the enrollment order was served on them, was given to them. So the correctional center said they have given us power to take this man. We cannot leave him for you. They refused. We thought that they were joking. A lot of consultations. JB Dawudu has called many people. Everybody. They said that there is an order from above. Who is that giving you? Who is that person giving you order? It's against court order. Are we using executive fiat to set aside court order? We don't know what was going on. Now, correctional center now came to take EMEFIELE. They refused.
What does this mean for the criminal justice system in Nigeria?
It is a blow. It is a war against rule of law. Because one, if this thing can happen in a federal high court premises, we have the judge is still around, then how much more what will be happening in other hinterlands? So we are calling the National Rights Commission, the MBJ president, the Senate president, the speakers of representatives, that they should come to rescue this democracy. We don't know the plan of DSS. They don't obey court order. You can see what is happening in a case JB Dawudu SA, former NBA president, is handling. Then how much more of the case that a general is handling? What will happen? The media will witness what happened, how they tore the cloth of the leader of the correctional center. So and we are saying that you said that you have a case against this man. The matter has been adjourned till 14th of November. And we feel that if you have any amendment to do or further charge, you can bring it in. I hear them say you can bring it in. Then why the trial continue? Because bail is temporary freedom. Except you are persecuting, you are not prosecuting. If you are prosecuting, you should follow the rule of law.
So where do you see this ending today?
I don't know where it's ended, because you can see that the lawyers have left, the court officials have run away from the court. Everybody is running helter-skelter. I heard them say, I'm about to leave before you people call me back. I don't know what is going on. They are shooting, carrying gun up and down in a court premises in Ikoyi Federal High Court. If this thing will be happening in Lagos, in Ikoyi, look at, and the court is near the residence of the president. President Senator Ahmed Bola Tinubu. The court is just a stone throw to his house. If this thing will be happening, imagine what will be happening in a village in Adamawa, in a village in Imo State, in a village in Bayelsa. Right. So that is what we are fighting.
Can I have your name again?
My name is Maxwell Opara.
All right, thanks so very much. Maxwell is a lawyer from Abuja and is interested in this case. That's why he's here with us this afternoon. You can still see the situation is still the same there. At the entrance of the courtroom, we still have men of the DSS fully armed to the teeth and completely hooded. Most of them, you know, they are wearing hood, and we still have men of the correctional services too taking positions around there. The leader of the correctional service, like I said, was nearly stripped naked when it became a free-for-all moments back. His uniform, was pulled over, and the buttons on the uniform, was pulled over, and he was rescued from the hands of men of the DSS. I have another lawyer here. Can I have a word or two with you? Good afternoon.
Yes, this Okere Kingdom. This morning we appeared in this matter as lawyers in defense of democracy, watching the brief on behalf of international civil society organizations. I just want to go straight to say that Tinubu administration has started on a very wrong note. He has started with impunity. He has started with lawlessness. His government is still facing legitimacy at the tribunal, and he has chosen to start with lawlessness. He has chosen to start with impunity. Vis-a-vis suffering Nigerians by the subsidy issue that we are all suffering, he has now rather chose to cripple the entire judicial system, the entire judicial machinery. Then the DSS should have established a court in their office. They should have a DSS court. Try him there. They shouldn't have brought him to court. Where a court of competent jurisdiction, Federal High Court, made an order granting him to bail. After you have detained him for more than 40 days, the court granted him bail. Court made an order that should, in case he didn't perfect his bail today, that he should be remanded in Nigerian Correctional Service custody. And that order has been displayed to the media. So and the DSS is here, behaving as if we are in a zoo, as if this is a zoological republic. Tinubu is failing.
As a lawyer,
he is failing.
As a lawyer,
he must remove the DG of DSS.
As a lawyer, I want you to help us understand this. They showed us a warrant claiming it's from a court. I don't know if I still have a copy of the warrant from the court to get him arrested. How do you
the position of the law is that he has been arraigned, and there is a court of competent jurisdiction that is a high court, federal high court, that made an order granting him to bail, and have ordered that should be, in case he didn't perfect his bail, he should be taken to the facility of the Nigerian Correctional Service. That remains the order. You can only appeal that order. Or if you have another warrant, if you have another offense you are investigating him, or purported offense you are investigating him, or you have another purported warrant, you should go and serve it to the Nigerian Correctional Service to produce him to court, not to take him to your custody. DSS is not the law. They are established by a piece of legislation. This is a country that runs on law, on rule of law. The Constitution is our ground norm. That is what we are saying. The Constitution has stipulated that there are 3 arms of government: executive, legislature, and judiciary. That is why we are crying out. Rule of law must be entrenched. That is the issue. It's not about Yusuf Magaji. He cannot give an order from his office to counter the court. He doesn't have that power. He doesn't. No matter the rifle he's playing parade, Magaji Yusuf, the DG of DSS, does not have the power to counter court order. He doesn't have the power. That's what we are saying. He's not established by himself. He's established by a piece of legislation. A piece of legislation that is not more than the Constitution. That is what we are crying out for. To represent this man. This man will give your government a bad image. This man will give your government a bad reputation. He has started with lawlessness, impunity. Look at the way they manhandled the officer of the Nigerian Correctional Service. Is that what we should expect in this country? We will continue to talk. You have started on a wrong note. The man you have left as DSS Director General is bringing disorderliness in the judicial system. He's desecrating the institution.
Thank you.
Remove him. He's incompetent.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You can see that tempers are already flaring in the air, and the lawyers are taking this not lightly at all. The DSS men are also insisting that it's either they take Godwin Emefiele into custody or nothing else, and the Correctional Services team are also insisting that it's either Godwin Emefiele or nothing else. But the lawyers are saying that the rule of law must be respected, must be obeyed, and that's the situation we have found ourselves right here, right now at the Federal High Court in Ikoyi. I have another lawyer here. Let me take his perspective before I throw it back to you in the studio. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, can I have your name?
My name is Onwubualele Sylvester.
Okay, so what do you make of all this?
What is happening here today is a complete show of shame before the whole world. They continue to desecrate the temple of justice. They continue to malign the law. They continue to intimidate the citizens. How do you explain in a modern day, in this time, where the court has given an order granting bail to an accused person, and then the law enforcement agents are waiting outside the court to rearrest that person, even whether with or without warrant, without obeying the order of court that has been made? It just goes to, nullify the law that says that an accused person is guiltless unless pronounced so by the court. You can see everybody running helter-skelter. You see the court is armed to the teeth with officials of the DSS. There is a civil way to do things. And until we get it right with the judiciary, where the rule of law is respected, where court orders are respected, Nigeria will continue to sink.
All right. Thank you so very much, sir. Thank you. So we'll still keep a tab on what is happening here. It appears like calm is returning to the atmosphere, but the DSS operatives have refused to vacate the entrance into the courtroom. The door of the courtroom is now opened. Perhaps Mr. Emefiele will be brought out from that room. We don't know. We still have officers of the correctional services around. You know, you can see them at the door of that particular courtroom. So let's keep watching and, you know, and see what comes out of it at the end of the day.
Badeoye, live from the Ikoyi Court, Federal High Court. And sometimes, right now, I must say that it's difficult to believe that we're actually looking at live scenes of a court. This does not look like what it should be. And from the accounts of the family of Godwin Emefiele, as well as the lawyers, this looks like a defiance, according to them. They're saying it's a defiance of the rule of law and that court orders should be honored. Also stating that the Director General of the DSS is not above the law and does not have the power to defy court orders. But like you said, Oba, we'll keep tabs on this. Thank you so much for bringing us up to